Hi! Welcome to Inference. In this video, I will be talking about viruses and bacteria. A virus is a small infectious agent that replicates only inside the living cells of an organism. Viruses can infect all types of life forms, from animals and plants to microorganisms, including bacteria and fungi. Many viruses cause disease in humans and other organisms. Viruses are very small and can only be seen with a microscope. They are much smaller than bacteria, and they are not considered living because they cannot carry out all of the functions that living cells can, such as metabolism and reproduction. The history of the scientific study of viruses dates back to the late 19th century. In 1892, Dmitry Ivanovsky discovered a filterable agent that he suspected was the cause of tobacco mosaic disease in plants. This discovery was later confirmed by Martinus Beijerinck, who coined the term virus to describe these infectious agents. In the early 20th century, the development of electron microscopy allowed scientists to study the physical properties of viruses in more detail. In 1935, Wendell Stanley crystallized the tobacco mosaic virus and showed that it was composed of protein and nucleic acid, and in the 1940s, the electron microscopes of the day were used to visualize the first virus structures. The discovery of the structure of DNA in the 1950s led to a better understanding of the genetics of viruses and their replication. This, in turn, led to the development of vaccines and antiviral drugs to treat viral infections. Today, the study of viruses is a highly interdisciplinary field that involves researchers from many different fields, including molecular biology, virology, and immunology. Bacteria are single-celled microorganisms that are found in almost every environment on Earth. They are very small and can only be seen with a microscope. Most bacteria are harmless, and some are even beneficial to humans. However, some types of bacteria can cause disease in humans, animals, and plants. Bacteria are prokaryotes, which means that they have a simple cell structure and do not have a nucleus or other membrane-bound organelles. They are usually much smaller than eukaryotic cells, which are cells that have a nucleus and other membrane-bound organelles. Bacteria can be found in many different shapes, including round, spiral, and rod-shaped. They can also occur as single cells, clusters, chains, or clusters of chains. Bacteria can reproduce quickly by dividing into two daughter cells. This process, called binary fission, can occur as often as every 20 minutes under the right conditions. Bacteria are important in many different fields, including medicine, agriculture, and industry. They are used in the production of antibiotics, the fermentation of food products, and the cleanup of oil spills, among other things. The scientific study of bacteria dates back to the late 17th century when Antony van Leeuwenhoek first observed microorganisms using a microscope. However, it was not until the 19th century that the importance of bacteria in disease and other processes was fully recognized. In the 1860s, Louis Pasteur demonstrated that bacteria were responsible for the spoilage of wine and beer, and he developed techniques for preventing this spoilage. Around the same time, Robert Koch developed techniques for growing bacteria in the laboratory and used these techniques to identify the bacterial causes of various diseases, including anthrax and tuberculosis. In the early 20th century, the development of antibiotics, such as penicillin, revolutionized the treatment of bacterial infections. In the latter part of the 20th century, the study of bacteria became increasingly molecular in nature, as techniques such as DNA sequencing and gene manipulation were developed. Today, the study of bacteria is a highly interdisciplinary field that involves researchers from many different fields, including molecular biology, microbiology, and biotechnology. The relationship between viruses and bacteria is complex and dynamic. While viruses are generally much smaller than bacteria and have a simpler structure, they can have a significant impact on the populations of bacteria in a given environment. Viruses that infect bacteria, known as bacteriophages, are a common and important factor in the ecology of bacteria. Bacteriophages can infect and kill bacteria, leading to a process known as lysogeny, in which the viral genome becomes integrated into the bacterial genome. This can lead to the transmission of viral genes to other bacteria through horizontal gene transfer. Bacteria, in turn, have evolved several mechanisms to defend against viral infection. For example, they can produce enzymes that break down the viral genome, or they can produce proteins that inhibit the replication of viruses. Overall, the relationship between viruses and bacteria is an ongoing arms race, with each side evolving new strategies to evade or overcome the other. This constant evolution helps to shape the diversity and abundance of both viruses and bacteria in a given environment. In conclusion, viruses and bacteria are important microorganisms that play a significant role in many different fields, including medicine, agriculture, and industry. The scientific study of these microorganisms has a long history and has led to many important discoveries and innovations. The relationship between viruses and bacteria is complex and dynamic, with each side evolving strategies to evade or overcome the other. Understanding the biology of these microorganisms and their interactions is crucial for addressing a wide range of challenges, including the development of vaccines and therapies for infectious diseases and the management of food production and environmental health. Alright, folks, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new about viruses and bacteria. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. Goodbye.